The Nazca Desert stretches across southern Peru. It is a dry, barren landscape, but etched into this desolate plateau is a mystery. Thousands of lines and figures are carved into the earth. This is the Nazca Lines, one of archaeology's most intriguing puzzles. Discovered in the 1920s, these geoglyphs are invisible from the ground. They can only be seen from the air. This fact has amazed and baffled researchers for decades. Who created these lines and why? The Nazca Lines cover an area of nearly 200 square miles. They include straight lines, geometric shapes, and animal figures. Some lines run straight for miles, others form complex designs. The scale and precision of these geoglyphs are astonishing. These lines are more than just ancient doodles. They offer a glimpse into the culture and beliefs of the Nazca people, who lived in this region centuries ago. But the Nazca left no written records. The true meaning of the lines remains elusive.
The Nazca Lines depict a variety of figures. Some are simple geometric shapes, others are stylized representations of animals and plants. There's a monkey with a curled tail, a hummingbird with outstretched wings, a spider with long, delicate legs. Other figures include a condor, a pelican, a lizard, and a dog. There are also images of trees, flowers, and even a human-like figure. Each figure is drawn with a single, continuous line. This technique adds to the mystery of their creation. The figures vary in size. Some are relatively small, only a few feet across. Others are massive. The hummingbird, for example, measures over 300 feet long. The condor has a wingspan of nearly 400 feet. The sheer scale of these figures is awe-inspiring. The Nazca artists used a simple technique to create these geoglyphs. They removed the reddish-brown surface rocks. This exposed the lighter-colored sand underneath. The contrast in color created the lines and figures we see today.
The Nazca people flourished in this region from around 200 BCE to 600 CE. They were skilled farmers, artisans, and astronomers. They developed sophisticated irrigation systems. They created beautiful pottery and textiles. The Nazca Lines are a testament to their ingenuity. The Nazca people lived in a harsh environment. Water was scarce, and the land was unforgiving. It is believed that their culture placed great importance on water and fertility. This belief may be reflected in the animal figures depicted in the lines. Some scholars believe that the Nazca people were deeply spiritual. They may have created the lines as part of religious ceremonies. The figures could represent deities or spirits. The lines themselves might have been sacred pathways. Despite their artistic and technological achievements, the Nazca civilization eventually declined. The reasons for their disappearance are still debated. Climate change, drought, or social upheaval may have played a role.
Creating the Nazca Lines was a monumental task. It would have required careful planning and coordination. First, the Nazca people would have chosen a design. Then, they would have used ropes and stakes to mark out the lines on the ground. Next, they used simple tools to remove the surface rocks. They may have used digging sticks, baskets, or even their hands. The removed rocks were piled up along the edges of the lines. This created the visible contrast. The Nazca people's knowledge of geometry and astronomy is evident in the lines. The straight lines run for miles with remarkable precision. Some researchers believe they used astronomical alignments to guide their work. The dry climate and stable weather conditions of the Nazca Desert have helped preserve the lines for centuries. The lack of wind and rain has prevented significant erosion. However, human activity and climate change pose a threat to their long-term survival.
Section 5. Messages to the heavens? The purpose of the Nazca Lines is still a mystery. Scholars have proposed numerous theories. One theory suggests that the lines were created to be seen by the gods in the sky. The Nazca people may have believed that these enormous figures would appease their deities. They might have performed rituals or ceremonies on the lines. Perhaps they hoped for rain, good harvests, or other blessings. This theory is supported by the fact that some of the lines align with significant astronomical events. For example, some lines point to the solstices or equinoxes. This suggests a connection between the lines and celestial observations. However, there is no direct evidence to prove that the Nazca Lines were intended for the gods. The Nazca people left no written records. We can only speculate about their beliefs and motivations.
Section 6. A celestial calendar. Another theory proposes that the Nazca Lines functioned as a giant astronomical calendar. The line's alignment with solstices and equinoxes supports this idea. The Nazca people may have used the lines to track the seasons. By observing the position of the sun or stars in relation to the lines, they could determine the best time for planting and harvesting crops. This knowledge would have been crucial for their survival in the arid desert environment. Some researchers believe that specific figures represent constellations. The monkey, for example, might be associated with the constellation Ursa Major. The spider could represent Orion. This connection to the stars suggests an advanced understanding of astronomy. However, the astronomical calendar theory has its critics. They argue that the Nazca Lines are too complex and varied to be simply a calendar. They believe that other interpretations, such as religious beliefs, must also be considered.
Section 7. Pathways of Power. Some researchers propose that the Nazca Lines were used for ceremonial processions or pilgrimages. The long, straight lines could have served as pathways for people to walk along. Perhaps they performed rituals or dances as they moved across the desert floor. The animal figures might have represented different clans or groups within Nazca society. Each group may have had its own designated animal figure and pathway. These processions could have been a way to honor their ancestors or deities. The Nazca people believed that certain animals held spiritual significance. The condor, for example, was associated with the heavens. The hummingbird was a symbol of rebirth. By walking the lines, they might have sought to connect with these spiritual forces. This theory is supported by the discovery of pottery shards and other artifacts along the lines. This suggests that people gathered and moved along these pathways. However, more evidence is needed to confirm their purpose.
Section 8. The Nazca Lines today. Today, the Nazca Lines are a UNESCO World Heritage Site. They attract visitors from around the globe. Tourists can take flights over the lines to appreciate their scale and complexity. They can also visit observation towers for a ground-level view. However, the Nazca Lines are fragile and vulnerable to damage. Foot traffic, erosion, and climate change all pose threats. The Peruvian government and international organizations are working to protect and preserve these ancient wonders. Researchers continue to study the Nazca Lines using modern technology. Aerial photography, satellite imagery, and ground-penetrating radar help reveal new details and insights. These studies contribute to our understanding of the Nazca people and their remarkable creations. The Nazca Lines are a reminder of the ingenuity and creativity of ancient cultures. They challenge us to consider the mysteries of the past and inspire us to learn more about the world around us.
Section 9. An enduring enigma. The Nazca Lines remain an enigma. Despite decades of research and speculation, their true purpose remains a mystery. Were they messages to the gods, a celestial calendar, pathways of power, or something else entirely? Perhaps the Nazca Lines had multiple purposes. They could have served as religious symbols, astronomical markers, and social gathering places. Their meaning may have evolved over time as the Nazca culture developed. The mystery of the Nazca Lines is part of their allure. They invite us to imagine the beliefs and practices of a vanished civilization. They remind us that the past holds many secrets and that there is still much to discover about our world. As we continue to study and learn from the Nazca Lines, we gain a deeper appreciation for the ingenuity and resilience of the human spirit. These enigmatic geoglyphs serve as a testament to the enduring power of human curiosity and our desire to understand the unknown.